Hi, everybody. This is Ernesto, and I'm the founder of CAV Family Therapy. And I've got Dr. Robert Pate, and he is one of my all-star clinicians also at CAV Family Therapy. Robert, before we move on, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Dr. Robert Pate, licensed clinical psychologist, and I've been with CAV Family Therapy for several years now. I do a lot of work with couples and adult men, but I work with a lot of different people and a lot of different issues. So really what I'm excited about here today is that we're going to get a chance to talk about kind of a new way of doing therapy. And it's not new in the sense that nobody's ever done it before, but I think it's new in the sense that our culture is really starting to adopt it and be a little less afraid of it. So we wanted to kind of showcase that today.
So first things first, Robert, when you get a new client or you're sending your client access to the therapy app, you send them this email, right?
Yeah, so our company, CAV Family Therapy, uses Therapy app, and this is just one of many providers where therapists can use a platform, a digital platform, to connect with their clients. So this is we use Therapy app. We like it. It does a good job with the video. It's kind of an all-encompassing platform for therapy, so you can do your sessions within the app. You can communicate with clients within the app. If your therapist is doing assessments, meaning they're asking you to fill out some forms to kind of check in on how you're doing and are you making progress, you can do it through the app. You can even make your own goals and talk about, you can kind of provide your therapist updates throughout the week on if you're making progress and whether you think you've met a particular goal right through the app. So, and we say app because you can use it as an app. You can do this through your phone, or
Yeah.
like I'm doing right now, you can use a PC or a Mac to do it from a laptop or a desktop.
Yeah.
So through your just to get back to your question there, yes. So anytime I set up a client, whether it's a new client or if I've been seeing them in person and they'd like to do some online sessions, I just enter their information, some of their demographic information, and their email, and then they get this invitation email. And so what we're seeing here is an email that I just sent to Ernesto to get him onboarded as a therapy client with our clinic.
Okay, so there's a few things here. It looks like if you have an Apple phone or a laptop, there's a actual link for that. If you're non-Apple PC users, you can use this and you just click on it. But can you explain a little bit more about all of these areas right here?
Sure, yeah. So every user is going to have a unique profile. So even if we're doing couples therapy, we would have separate accounts for the couple, and we would just set up the session for one of the people at a time, and they'd show up on the same screen together. But we'd keep separate notes for them, separate records. And so you see a code here. Everybody's going to have their own unique profile, their own unique file within the system. And so you can use this with just about any smart device is the great thing about Therapy app here. So I'm trying to scroll on your screen here.
Yeah, quick question.
I can't scroll from my...
Yeah, quick question. Do the codes change every single time that you email for every session?
No, so they're going to just log in and create their own user profile and just log in that way after that first time.
Perfect. Okay, for the first time though, when we get on, you're going to give me this code. So if you are first time seeing Dr. Pate, he will send you this to just set up, and it's pretty quick, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in fact, we'll do it right here.
Yeah, perfect. So, all right.
You'll just want to copy that code.
Copy the code, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like I've already done it on my end. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I clicked on this right here, and it took me to this. And what I did was, hold on real quick, let me just go back. It actually took me to the login page. You know what? Let me just start this over again. I'm going to click on this. It took me to this area right here. So the instruction says, please open Google Chrome browser on your computer. Because I have a PC, I'm going to click on this link right here. And it says click or client button. So I'm going to go back. So here is the client login. Now I've already set this up for myself. So it went into the terms and condition. But in the very beginning, what it does, it has a area where you set up your code on there. So I'm going to click on that, and it looks like, there you go. This is the interface, right?
Mm-hmm. So there are some places you can see along the left there. We're not going to go through all of them here, but you can see a tab for goals. I mentioned you can update your goals there. There's a mailbox where your therapist can send you messages. So you can get your email from your therapist directly in the app rather than having everything get pushed to an external email folder. So just one of the ways that we can enhance privacy and confidentiality for our clients. So you can see some upcoming appointments if your therapist has scheduled those in advance for you, depending on what your arrangement is with your therapist. But on my end, I've got the therapy session set up, and so if Ernesto clicks go to session here, then we should be able to see our session live.
All right, perfect. So you've got, just to reiterate, there's a goal. So the good thing about this is that you and your clinician can see the actual goals that you're working on, right? You can kind of click in there and go, okay, this is what we're working on. So there's no confusion to what you and your clinician are working towards, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, everybody
Awesome.
can be on the same page. And, all the research in therapy tells us that when therapy is more collaborative effort rather than a top-down effort of the therapist just telling the client, here's how to live your life. That doesn't tend to work as well as
That's
when
right.
there's more of a collaboration going. And if the client sets the goals and kind of runs them through the therapist, who just kind of checks and makes sure that, kind of from an outsider perspective, that they seem like healthy things to be shooting for, then that tends to be a much better approach to therapy.
Amazing. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to session. And the really cool thing, there's a nice couch right here, right? You see that little icon? I'm going to click on it and see where it takes us. All right. It gets, here we go. It takes us into a HIPAA regulated form. So this is where you are explained all of that before you go in. So it looks like by typing my name. Okay, here we go. What's today's date? Today is 4/27/2020. Oh, 2022, just not that. I don't need this, right? No, spouse date. No. All right, so I'm going to
So if we were
submit.
doing couples therapy, we could do that there.
Got it. Got it. All right, I'm going to submit. And it has more policies in there. That's great. This is our
So this confidentiality form, which of course your therapist would walk through with you. If you were a brand new client starting teletherapy with CAV Family Therapy anyway, this is our form. Every therapist is going to have their own form that's going to vary a little bit state by state on what the confidentiality requirements are, but we would go through this form together at the beginning of our very first session.
perfect. So I'm going to type that in. All right, date again. 04/27/2020. Here we
So
go.
these are all things that we would normally do in session anyway. So we're doing all of these things just digitally, and then we would chat about them in person. So everything's the same as it would be in an in-person session. You're just doing it from the comfort of perhaps your couch, or in my case, your den.
There you
You get to
go.
hang out with me and my fish during session.
So awesome. Now we are ready to go into the portal, or the area where you and I are going to be doing a confidential online virtual. It's as easy as that. How many steps did that take? Right, just a few steps.
Couple of minutes. And actually, one other thing, we didn't input any outcome measures for you or symptom checklists or anything, but that is one other thing that your therapist might be able to do with you to enhance your treatment and to make sure that you're making progress and that you're addressing the right issues. And those would have popped up right before this button here.
Got it. Got it. Okay, cool. So before I'm going to click on that, if you notice now, I am sharing my screen from the client's perspective. I am the client. Robert is a therapist. This is what I'm seeing in real time. Okay. And I'm going to have Robert also share on his end as after I'm done. So what I'm seeing in front of me, Robert, is a small icon of me, a video of me, and then I see you in the bigger screen. And at the very bottom, I'm seeing a red hang up, a phone where I could hang up, and then I've got the video capability. I've also have the audio. So if you don't want yourself to be seen on camera, you can click on that one, and then let me just show it to you. So I click on it. You don't see me. Robert, I'm assuming you don't see me on your end.
Nope.
Okay. So you can always do that. Oh, let me just move my other camera. So this is what it looks like. Again, you can't see me if you don't feel like you don't want to be seen at that time. It's okay. To my right-hand side, left-hand side, I see the dashboard, and I'm pointing to my profile right here. I've got my therapist, appointments. So all of the things that I can use to connect with Robert, it's going to be on my left-hand side. So I'm going to stop sharing now. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to have Robert share on his end. Okay, Robert, go ahead and share on your end.
Yep. Share screen, sharing therapy app. All right, are we in?
You are in. All right. So, oh, that's
Okay.
kind of cool.
Yeah, so I imagine it looks very similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
So we have just the same icons of, little picture of me, big picture of you. It's very simple, very clean interface. It's very user friendly. So if, maybe one thing to think about with this in terms of people who might be a little nervous about doing video-based therapy is that the technology piece is really simple. There's not a lot of complex algorithms going on here. You enter a username and password, your therapist puts an appointment in for you, and you click on it. That's pretty much it. Maybe the only thing that people might wrestle with a little bit if they are not familiar with video conferencing technology is just making sure that either they have a headset that works or maybe syncing up their Apple AirPods to their device, something like that. And then if they're just using their computer for audio, just testing that out, which again is very simple on most computers. So once you get into the session itself, really simple. If the client needs to cough or something, they can mute themselves. It's pretty simple, pretty clean. So I like it from a therapist perspective. It's very simple on our end, and they've mirrored that simplicity for clients too.
I just love this. It makes it safer. I know that I trust you, and many of your clients trust you in utilizing the privacy level of this. And it's so easy. It's just a few clicks in there. You get an email, you put in a code that Dr. Pate already provided for you, and then you can actually just go in there and utilize this form from your desktop and also on your cell phone, correct?
Yep, any smart device should work.
Perfect. So it's as easy as that, folks. Hopefully that this gives you a bit more confident in utilizing, video telehealth. And we are devoted and passionate about helping you in this time, whether you can come in the office or not. But right now, at the time of the recording of this, we are going through a pandemic where we are all at home, and for our safety and for ourselves and our family, and we want to respect that. So if even when all of this is lifted, this is a really good option for you. For those of you who are in California, we can see you through telehealth here. So anything that you want to add there, go ahead and unshare.
Yeah, and if I could jump in with something else that I think is a nice benefit of doing telehealth sessions like this, especially via video, is I've experienced with clients and even with some supervisees, and I've heard from a lot of other therapists that they actually have been enjoying the telehealth sessions in some ways more than in person because they get to see what their client's life is really like.
Yep.
I get to see all the cool stuff in your room there, Ernesto, and you can see my fish and you can see a little bit of my clutter over here. And, I kind of have an organized chaos kind of life. I got a few young kiddos, so this is my little sanctuary here. You get to know a little different side of the person on the other side of the screen than you would just in, kind of even as homey as an office can be, it's still an office. So I just think it's nice to let people into our worlds just a little bit more.
I love it. I love it. Well, Dr. Robert, thank you. Dr. Robert Pate, thank you so much for doing all of this stuff for you. Go ahead and unshare so that you and I can have a discussion. So we're going to go ahead and put our videos on here.
All right, I'm going to hang up
Yep.
therapy app.
And the same thing.
Okay. I'll share my video again. There we go.
There you go. So I hope that this was helpful for all of you, and to feeling a little bit more comfortable to being in telehealth here and video conferencing. There's a lot of angst about it. And because it's the age of digital now, this is a great option for you. Robert, what's your thoughts?
I'm excited about it. I've been connecting with clients in different ways here, and every once in a while there'll be a tech glitch or something, or everybody and their mom is using the internet at the same time in my area, and it'll glitch out for a minute. We just reconnect right away, and it's just neat to get to still connect with people. Even though we're in our own homes.
Yeah.
And I know there are plenty of therapists who are doing telehealth from their offices and just having the clients stay at home for social distancing purposes. But I'm excited about this. I think it opens up a lot of new avenues for us to help people who either are homebound and have a hard time getting to a therapist's office, or maybe live in a more rural part of our state. We can do telehealth. I'm licensed in California. I can do telehealth with anybody, from Sacramento on down to San Diego. So you don't have to live near Huntington Beach where my on-ground in-person office is.
Yeah.
So I think there's some great things here, and I think that a lot of people are going to get help that they need, that maybe wouldn't have gotten help before.
Yeah, and just about 2 hours before we went on, I had a couple clients who now live in San Diego and wanted to do. I've seen them a couple years ago. One of them I saw a couple years ago, and they're coming back now to do telehealth like this. So
Yep.
I'm sending them everything that we did today. We're going to do with them because this is a new system for us, and it's worked so phenomenally well. And we're here dedicated to protect your privacy. We want to make sure you're taken care of during these unprecedented times.